now entering the world of Brooklyn with me, D from Brooklyn. Let's chill for a while. Let's talk about tanks, people. Let's go. What's up, everybody? This is D, and I'm giving you the rundown and update on the BioCube. So if you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe button so you can be in the know. And the Cube's last discussion was on the acquisition of the Aquaneat full spectrum LED lights. Now, per the last video, I added another one, another 20-inch unit, full spectrum. I felt I wanted to make sure I had coverage from front to back of this tank. This tank is a rather deep, rather wide cube tank, and the whole goal is to have a feeling of height in this tank. But I also want to maintain steady growth in the tank, seeing how I started all of these plants outside. Now, if you look at the growth, I'm still maintaining a nice root structure and a rather nice coverage of the whole tank. But most importantly is I want to be able to see all around this tank, especially seeing how I have very small species. The whole mode of this tank, excuse me, is nano species. Now, not only the species that you see, excuse me, but the lower level species like Corydoras. I have Celestial Pearl Daniels. I plan on getting some Scarlet Batis that I have in the smaller system, and I want to be able to see them. I don't want dark spots. For the purpose of shooting this video, I fed them a little Hikari sinking algae wafer so that you can see just how small these guys are. And they can kind of disappear in a large system, especially a system that's deep like this one. It's soil based, and the plants are rather far from the light. You can see this melon plant has taken a hit, which is why I added the additional Aquaneat LED. But there are many dark spots in the tank. I want to guarantee that the fish have hiding areas. And since the tank is really about 30 inches from top to bottom, you need deep light penetration at all levels from front to back. Once again, I have crypts in here. This crypt has been doing rather nicely. It's doing a little better than the melon plant. With crypts, I always get dieback. As you can see, I can't really plant the way you would plant the normal tank because once again, it's really deep. Got short arms, so it's kind of tricky. And I want it to look natural, and I want to have ample light at the bottom. Once again, ample light, not at the top of the tank for the viewer, but for the plants, because these plants will tell you when they're not happy. So now let's look at the inner areas of the tank, the wood. People don't really think about it. I've looked at many aquascaping setups at various contests and various tanks over the years. And the light coverage is very important because if you have lights like LEDs, they tend to shine straight down, not like fluorescents that have more of a 180 coverage, like a semicircle coverage. So you want to get full penetration all around the tank from front to back, the sides. And to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about, let's look at the side of this tank. You look at the side of this tank, even the back, there are no dark spots. You can see all the way down to the gravel. You don't even see the soil, but you can see all around. And I have plants going all the way around the tank. And these plants do need light. Now you'll see if I can get this into better focus, even my little bog plant, which gets a lot of sunlight and a lot of ambient side light, has been doing rather well. During the day, I have a window here that shines directly across the top of this tank. And this is why I didn't want to see that big old desk lamp. It kind of looked crazy. And I wanted to make sure that my lights are hitting the plants back here. You have a lot of guppy grass and my bog plant. Actually, let me point out one more thing. My bog plant, my cutting is actually rooted up. It's hard to see there, but it's upside down. Thank you, New Jersey Aquarium Society. I'm getting nice root growth, so I'll be able to plant that little piece in another tank. Just the way it is. You basically pull that out the way it is once the roots of established, and I can plant that somewhere else. But that is proof positive that I'm getting proper light coverage and the right spectrum of light. The Ritala is growing. I just added this red species that I had growing outside of the water. I want it to grow out of the water, so I just kind of stuck it there until I find another place to put it. And I have this Anubias that I got from the Aquatic Experience. All those plants were aquacultured. I'm also growing this submerged, not emerged. So I want the light to actually get to these plants. Here's another one, if you can see it, on the other side of my little feeding ring that are growing out of the water. The theme of the tank is height. Can't say that enough. The theme of the tank is height. Just like in the park or in the lake or in your local rivers, they don't grow straight down, they grow towards the light. So if you're getting good light coverage, you will see that the plants will stay green and grow upward towards the light. So yes, this other side of the tank is really benefiting from the addition of the extra Aquaneat light. And once again, it's not an expensive light. I don't want to push the fact that I'm looking for cheap lights or looking for cheap equipment, because you do get what you pay for. But I have plants growing all around this tank because I want to see, and this species is actually a house plant, but it's not by a window on this side of the tank. And if you can see, it needs light. The green and white of the leaves need light. So I keep it damp. Here's my branch. Let me show you the top of the tank just to push home my whole theme. Upward and outward height. The tank is tall, so everything in this tank is set up around the illusion of height, like a tree hanging into the water, rocks growing up into the landscape, and I need a light which pushes this fact home. And these have the little push button on and off. Let me show you the light that I just purchased is on the right side. You can see the difference when I switch them on and off, that you do get shading, but still the individual lights are quite strong enough to still cover the entire cube from top to bottom and left to right. Look at this Java fern. This Java fern has actually grown at least an inch since I put it in there, and that's really slow growing plant. So the addition of that extra light is really going to benefit. This is the last of the Aquatic Experience plants that I actually left in a pot. I'm going to plant this one in one of my temporary little biodegradable plant pots and get that root structure like you see here. Look at this plant. You can see the light, how it's grown up. It's at least grown at least an inch in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm really happy so far with the tank. And they'll probably grow up too. I'll probably wrap them around the branch and try to get them to grow upward. It's going to be really tricky keeping this pothos, the house plant, under control, because pothos grow really fast, and they're only meant to hide my sponge. So let's talk about the tank itself. Once again, the tank is a cube. It's 30 inches high, 20 inches front to back, and there are sections of the tank that are divided. The division of the tank is based around the fish and species to establish their own little areas, like breeding areas, front viewing areas, sloping areas. I have river rock. I have exposed areas basically for oxygen exchange, and I have the branches that will eventually be covered in some sort of plant growth. Oh, let me show you how I just took a little piece of ceramic tile and some Gorilla Glue and glued that to the bottom of the wood just to get it to stand up. Once again, the theme is height. Take what you got, make what you need until you can afford what you want. And by that time, you don't need it no more. That's a little quick rhyme for you. And the low profile lights really give it a nice look. I don't want to look at the lights. I was kind of going nuts looking at the desk lamp, but it's really nice. Didn't want to fill this just to make it another fish tank, or rather a water box, as some people refer to it. but I want it to look natural. When I come down to my basement where this is, I get home from work late and this is the first thing I see. It greets me down here. It lights the room and it creates a illusion of nature. I do a lot of fishing. When I go fishing, I see the fish in the division of space. You have heavily planted areas in the lake and you have light planted areas in the lake. And I'm really happy with the lights. Now, once again, I sit back. That's it. To give you a full idea of the tank, this is it. The lights are doing well. This is part 2 of the review of the Aquaneat lights as I was asked for a little update. I hope you guys like it. I want to thank you for watching, and I will have another follow-up to show you how the growth has progressed in this tank. And till then, this is D signing out, keeping my sanity by keeping my tanks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.